Anybody else was going to show up, because I know agents, like I said, we're normally late, right? Working. Of course, someone's going to start showing up. Nope, Tony, shut the door. Nope, you're late. Now, come on in. But guys, thanks for coming out there. I greatly appreciate it. Does everybody get parking situated and everything? I know there was some confusion on that, but everyone's in a safe spot, not in the middle of the street anywhere? Okay, good deal. All right, well, we're going to get into talking about a little bit of LPT Realty and who we are, what we do. This is our first event in the Virginia Beach market, our first official rally. Woo! We've had one in Northern Virginia a couple days ago. We had one in Richmond. Jeanette, you knocked that out. So, you know, we're coming in strong, and it's only been a few short months, guys, and everyone's already talking about us. That's a good thing, right? I know not everybody's with us just yet. We have people that joined locally a couple months ago. Tame, you were one of the first, and we had some join this week, right? Where are you at that joined this week? I know somebody is. Where'd he go? There's Tom. Tom, his wife and son, they joined this week. So, you know, we have some very solid people coming into this. We're not just trying to scoop up anybody and everybody, but we're going to get in on why this is changing the game, guys. This is truly something remarkable, and I didn't put this stuff up here to show my face. I don't even like looking at my own face, but these are the things that consumers get, and we're going to go through what this looks like. But when we get done, you can come up, take a look. Please don't take it, because this is my marketing material. But I just want to let you know that all this stuff we get for free. I mean, if we want to order a ton of it extra, we pay for it, of course, but it's super discounted. But the stuff you can get any one of these boxes or marketing guides, any of this stuff for free. We're going to go through those details. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but just want to let you know this is just a piece of the reason why I joined. So a little bit about myself before we get started. I've been licensed for 20 years. 20 years, going on 21 now. I've tried my hand at the 100% companies. I tried some of the big box companies. I owned my own brokerage about 10 years ago. I still have it sitting in the sidelines. And then I was at the company that most of you know me from. I was there for 6 years, and they were really good to me. It worked out really well. But at the end of the day, I had to see what was going to be best for everybody, not just me. So I came home after seeing those guys and meeting them in Texas, and I realized I had to break up with my former broker. And it was shocking to me. It was shocking to my family, my wife. It was shocking to all of us. Yeah. So yeah, it was shocking to everybody. I got a bunch of messages asking if I was joking around, but not the case. So, you know, with that said, you know, I've tried a bunch of different brokerages. I saw this one, and it kind of lit my eyes up like a little kid in the candy store saying, this can help everybody. And I just don't mean from a financial standpoint, but peace of mind for your families to spend more time with them so you're not stressing about the marketing. And you can do things in this company that you just can't get done in other places unless you want to spend a ton of time and a ton of money that, again, takes away from your personal lifestyle and your family and things of that nature. So with that said, we're going to get started, and I can't even talk about LPT Realty without talking about this guy here. This is Mr. Robert Palmer. He's the founder of LPT, and you know, he's been a leader in the industry. He has several businesses, but long story short, as you can read some of that there. I'm not going to go through the details, but he has an extensive background in marketing, business development, tons and tons of education. He's a self-taught technology guy, so he loves to code. He actually does a lot of code for LPT Realty. So when we're asking questions about getting something to work better, who else better to knock it out than the man himself and this company that he's growing, and we're all helping grow. As I mentioned, he's a marketer. You can see $150 million in advertising that he's done. Most of that's happened in Florida, as we move into Virginia, because this company was only in Florida till roughly December. You know, there's a couple people that trickled into Virginia, but they weren't, you know, they just kind of opened it up to help out because there was a team in Florida. But literally, the official launch in Virginia was a couple months ago. Then we got North Carolina, we got Colorado, Tennessee, a few states. And just know this company's going wild. But before I talk any more about the company, I'm going to let you watch a short little video, get a message from Robert Palmer himself, and hear his story.
You know who he is. Well, yeah, but not him. You know the one. I'm Robert Palmer, president of RP Funding. Yeah, that guy. You've seen his TV commercials for 10 years. You've seen his commercials on the couch, at the sports bar, on the elliptical at the gym. Everywhere you go, Robert Palmer is telling you to pay your closing costs on a home loan. And that's what he does. He's paid over $100 million in closing costs and counting since that first commercial aired in 2010. Now, the skeptic in all of us will certainly question that. Why would this guy pay out of his own pocket to save the consumer fees that have been the industry standard for decades? Let's go back to the beginning, and I mean way back. As a child from Lakeland, Florida, Robert's mother, like many others, struggled to make ends meet. At 10 years old, there was no allowance to be had, so Robert bet on himself. He packaged and sold homemade cookies with self-made labels featuring his name on them. From there, he understood that the quality of his product would directly reflect the reputation of his name. Years later, Robert would be forced to return from college to help his sick mother with her struggling mortgage company. This is where he would learn the tricks of the trade in the mortgage industry. He would also learn through his competitors how to milk the most money out of clients through junk fees and hidden costs, just to turn around and sell that mortgage to the big banks. He learned how these tactics could ruin lives and eventually crash the market. So Robert bet on himself again. From the ashes of the crumbling housing market, he built a new mortgage company. And like his very first business, he put his name on it. His business model was clear. Go straight into the consumer's living room. In 2010, Robert Palmer entered our homes during halftime of Sunday Night Football and introduced himself as the primary Central Florida alternative to the typical money grab financing companies. But he didn't stop there. He then hit the radio airspace with his hour-long show, serving free financial advice to help people climb out of the housing market wreckage. Now, the skeptics are plenty. He would fail. His overhead would devour without those added junk fees. But the secret was, overhead was Robert and his wife and a handful of loan officers originating loans out of an office the size of a broom closet. And whatever profit they made went straight back into the advertising budget, producing more and more commercials to send his message directly to the consumer. And guess what? He proved the skeptics wrong. He bet on himself, and he won. With every mortgage closed came word of mouth referrals. RP Funding was real. The savings and simplicity, it was all real. That guy on TV, he's not lying. He really did save me thousands. From there, things snowballed. Over the next years, Robert Palmer would begin to be known across the I-4 corridor as a financial guru and a marketing titan. He would build a variety of marketing tools that help real estate agents better brand themselves all across the country. His brand would be prominent at national trade shows, in addition to being honored with many prestigious entrepreneurial awards before the age of 40. Robert would be asked to be keynote speaker at marketing seminars, graduation ceremonies, as well as local and national real estate conventions. And yes, that is A-Rod. Robert would also become prominent in philanthropy, giving back to countless charities and causes, donating $100,000 alone to the Special Olympics. Soon Robert would take his marketing prowess to the next level. Betting on his name again, he would put his brand on sporting venues across Central Florida. You can find Robert Palmer Company's branding across the Amway Center and Camping World Stadium, not to mention the complete renaming of his hometown Lakeland Civic Center to the RP Funding Center. RP Funding would also become the primary jersey sponsor of the Lakeland Magic. And in 2017, Robert began his role as professional sports team owner with the purchase of the Jacksonville Armada Soccer Club. Through his rise, Robert has never strayed too far from that 10-year-old kid selling cookies in Lakeland, gaining trust from his customers through the reputation of his name. From day one, Robert Palmer has bet on himself and won.
Woo! Who likes a good story?
Now, if you've ever been to Vegas,
Still going.
you know, when you win big, you cash out and you walk away. And at just the age of 40, Robert Palmer had created a self-sustained legacy company that can provide for his family for generations. And his family was growing. After decades in the public spotlight, Robert accepted a new position as dad. And this position was a full-time job. Although the industry assumed he would make a return, Robert wasn't so sure. But looking into the eyes of his baby daughter, Robert gained a new perspective. He had a new goal. He'd made his mark. Now it was time to help others do the same. So Robert Palmer launched a brand new real estate company to help agents from across the country promote their brand, bolster their success, and grow their own business. He gave them all his tools, his support, and his resources. So after decades of betting on himself, now Robert Palmer is betting on him. Welcome to LPT.
Yeah, I might call you out or something. Thanks. Awesome stuff, right? And it's not here to talk about just Robert, but the truth is, you want to hear the man's story because I got the chance to fly down before I joined, I've told a few of this story, and I'd like to share it because my last company, I was there for 6 years, and I intentionally flew down to Texas to meet these guys to prove them wrong. Well, obviously I'm here now. So that didn't work out too well. But now I'm here, and it's definitely worked out, and that's his story. So here you can get a quote directly from him. His goal is to build the most valuable real estate company in the world for our agents, and he's designed LPT to be the agent's choice so agents are able to choose their own individual definition of success. We're not here to tell you, hey, go out and sell 100 houses. Oh, you only sold 5? None of that matters because we all have different goals. We all have different things we're doing. Some people in the room are investors. Some people are marketers. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're out selling 5. If that works for you, great. If you want to go out and sell 1,000, great. But it's your definition of success that this company is here to help you with. And that's what we're all here for. So a few things about building the most valuable real estate company for the agents. You know, there's luxury real estate, right? There's new construction. You got to have leads and generate some leads. And then you got to have options as far as commission plans, things of that nature. So of course, traditional brokerages always have a commission split. Then you have the other side of the table, more of a 100% brokerage. Well, the beauty in this is that we offer both on top of a lot of other things. We'll get into details on how that works. Just a little quick snippet about our luxury. We're just now kicking off our luxury brand. Mr. Benjamin Hillman is heading that up, and they're putting together things just for luxury. I've been a part of other companies that want thousands of dollars to call you a luxury agent. It's not just because you might know what you're doing, because it's a money grab in some companies. Here, there's your luxury branding. You see all the branding here. I already talked about this. Just know this company's here to take care of you and what your goals are. So if you want to go luxury, hey, guess what? We're putting that together too. But we also have what they consider luxury, which is our labs, luxury affiliated brokerages. It allows people to keep their brokerage. Have you ever seen anybody that is XYZ Realty powered by or brokered by another company? Well, this lab, the luxury affiliated brokerage, allows you to get rid of the powered or brokered by. Some brokerages want that. They don't even want the fine print. You can do that. They'll take on some of the compliance, some of the infrastructure, things like that, and there's 10% that's paid out indefinitely for them taking on all the hassles and the headaches of that. It's going to cost more, but some people are adamant that they want to keep their brand and not even have the fine print. But just know those are two things that we have. We're rolling out more, and it's growing as far as that goes. Homevalue.com. This goes into the marketing piece that we offer. Jeez, that's loud. Sorry, guys. The audio is going up and down, but just a little quick snippet. I'm trying. All right. This is Lawrence K. Bird. He is our official spokesperson, Bird, whatever you want to call it, and we'll learn more about him. But just know, without me giving away the whole slideshow, this is something they've started to launch in Florida, and it is owned by LPT Realty, Robert Palmer, and it's about generating leads, and we'll get through how that works exactly for the agents, which is us, and how consumers get through it, and why it's different than anything else out there. It's not one of those portals that's going to give you some algorithm to tell you what the house is worth, but we'll get through that. So why is it different? It's about steering them back, not that word that you're talking about with consumers, but bringing them back to the agent and not just an algorithm like I said before. It's not just put in your address and we're going to tell you what the house is worth, because that's impossible. Anyone that's been in real estate for more than a few days knows that is absolutely impossible unless you step foot in the house. So what homevalue.com does, it's doing marketing. As it says, there's also a section on here, maybe it says it somewhere, but Zillow, we're buying batches of Zillow leads, dropping them in sometimes to homevalue.com and other sources, and they're pushing them back, talking about all the marketing we offer all of our agents complimentary, so that they can then know that they need an expert that has things like this, because no one out there, if they've went out and tried to build this, they've either spent a ton of time, a ton of money, and guess what? Things change. Then they have to change it all over again. But we have the power of LPT Realty behind us to do these things for us so that they can create these marketing guides, these home buyer guides. They're doing ones for luxury, new construction. All of these things are complimentary, so they take this homevalue.com and explain, why do you need an agent? Because how many people think they don't need an agent? Most, right? Because we're a dime a dozen. No one's doing anything different. Everybody just shows up and it's like, hey, I got a slideshow for you to watch. Here's a little magazine or a flyer I can give you. Here's what your house is worth, but it's not impressive. But you start walking in with guides like these, or people see this on homevalue.com and they start talking about it with their husband, their wife, their family, and they start to realize this agent's different. And then they start to go through the funnel, and guess what? They get to come out as a lead, but the company's going to nurture those leads for you. So they push it out, they're using it on radio, they're using it on TV, and it's growing. And it's not here in Virginia yet, but it's coming. Be patient. But in Florida, it's already being proven success, and it's working. And it also, you see protecting team leaders. This company's all about teams and helping agents be successful, as I mentioned before. So if someone's like, oh, I'm going to get off, I don't want to be on the team, I got all this stuff. Well, guess what? They're going to make you wait. Because it's not about like sabotaging teams and anything to say we have it. You need to stick with your team leader. Now, if you do leave the team, then to get it to these leads, you have to do a few transactions outside the team to prove that you can do it on your own. Then you can jump into something like this. But the more you transact, the more business you get. This company rewards production. It's not going to talk about, hey, go recruit 100 agents so you don't have to do anything. That's not very motivating to the other people. You know, I got into that swirl, loophole, whatever you want to call that, of checking out. Now it's my fault, but at the end of the day, I had a chance to speak with Mr. Robert Palmer, and he's like, you need to get back in business. I was like, okay, yes, sir. But no, and it just started going through all of these things, and it all just makes sense. So you can see down here, there's Lawrence K. Bird popping his head back up.
Got a question about a home that's listed for sale, and you're ready to check it out. Text us at 35353 for instant assistance.
But you'll be seeing him a lot in Virginia in a few months, rest assured. There he is. Another quick commercial about Lawrence K. Bird. We'll let him talk, and you'll see what's going on.
You didn't know that, did you? You're welcome.
Yeah. And some people look at these things and are like, why is there a bird up here? Why is there some cheesy bird? Everyone knows the gecko, Geico gecko, right? Guess what? It works, guys. It's not one of those things. What's that? Yeah, so you got Lawrence K. Bird there, and that's going to be on your TV soon, probably. What's that?
It's a good Boston accent.
Yeah, a good Boston accent. Nice. All right, so the value proposition. We're going to talk about generational wealth, business operations, and agent development. And we'll go through each one to kind of touch on them to show you what that means to you, the agent, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. So some things about generational wealth, that we talk about comp plans. We have both models. We talk about 100%. We talk about traditional. So you can see 100% brokerage model, it's a $500 a deal, and it caps out at $5,000. So do 10 deals, you're capped out. Or you can do 80-20 with a $15,000 cap. You can recruit / attract agents at any point that you want to. You can only get paid, though, on those agents that you bring in as if you're in the traditional brokerage model. The great thing is you can switch. Most companies will tell you, most of them don't even have two plans, but the fact that they allow you to jump in, to get your feet wet, to get familiar with everything, and then once you're building and it's been built up enough, guess what? Now you can switch to the 80-20. Maybe you've jumped into the less expensive plan because guess what? It makes sense for most agents because they don't need to pay the 80-20 and $15,000 cap. But once you grow your group, you're growing a company. You know, you're building a company within a company or a brokerage within a brokerage. And then once you see the numbers that you're missing out on, you can switch over to the 80-20 plan, and then that money where you're helping other agents grow takes care of your cap. That's how you build it. So, you know, if you're looking at this on the outside and you're not sure what to do, at least from my own stake, I don't know how the other LPT agents do it. I tell everybody just jump in, figure it out, do the cheaper plan. Unless you just know out of the gate you're going to share this opportunity with so many people. But if not, it doesn't matter to me. Too many people will come and talk to another agent like, which one should I do? They're asking somebody else. They don't know your life. They don't know your finances. So just get in, test the waters, and start getting the benefits out of the gate. So there's two ways to earn stock. We're also a stock company. You can also get it in your you'll get stock on your first deal, your third deal, and your 15th deal. And you can also get it for any agents you introduce to the company. When they sell their first house, you get more shares of stock. How many? I'll show you towards the end. All right, so when you come in, if you have a friend, you know, I came in, I talked to a couple friends of mine, and then they came with, and then they had friends, and then it just starts to snowball. So what happens if you're not familiar with this model, or any model like this, you get rewarded for helping other agents grow. They come over here, you help them grow their business, you help them be successful in their idea of success, the company's going to reward you financially for that. Anybody ever been in a company that gives you like a Starbucks card or a piece of paper that says thank you? Doesn't do too much for you. Or maybe you bring in somebody that's like a big producer. The company's making an extra $10,000, $20,000 and they gave you a $5 Starbucks card. Doesn't seem too fair to me. But here, you can bring people in. If they have friends and they have friends and they have friends, you can see it goes 7 levels. We're not going to spend too much time on this, but just basically just know that you can do this. This is just one quick example. We talked about business builders don't get paid rev share. You can see on this example, levels 4 and 6 elected to go with the cheaper plan, so they're not getting paid their rev share. That money, until they switch over, will go back to the company. When you're ready to switch to the 80-20 plan, all the agents you've brought in, you'll start getting compensated for. You do have to sell houses to get compensated. We are not a company of recruiters. We're a company of real estate people. All right? When you do a deal, I'm talking about generational wealth. How do you get generational wealth? Just selling a house isn't going to get you there. It's like having a job. If you're the one doing everything, you can't check out. No matter how successful are you, have to either invest in other things or spend time doing other things or helping others to get that generational type of wealth. So what happens here, every time you do a deal, the company's going to reach out. Of course, they have recruiting sites or agent attraction sites for everybody to get some ideas, to fill in a form. But at the end of the day, they're also going to reach out to everybody you do a deal with. And I know some of you have already done deals. We're new here. I know Tane's done a deal. Heather and them have done a deal. Natalie, right? Got a deal closed. Heather, I don't know if she's here. I've seen a few people closing deals, which is exciting because everybody's getting in the last 30 to 60 days. You know, that's it. That's all of Virginia Beach, guys. That's all of us. And we're already, what are we at, Christian?
For the state?
Yeah, at the state we're at 85 or something? 88.
I signed a couple this morning.
Okay. So we're at 88 agents. And then locally, I think we're at 50 something?
5960.
5960.
Thanks to Tom and his family that just joined us.
Woo! Awesome, awesome. And that's the thing. So every time you do a deal, the company is going to reach out, touch base, and see how the deal went, and they're going to also share some information, see if they have any interest, and then if they decide to partner up with LPT, guess what? They're connected to you. And you didn't have to do all the work. You know, all these other companies out there, they're having to do everything. So this company is standing behind everything they do. They want you to be successful. So they're doing these things to touch base. Again, sell more houses, get more opportunities lead to more income. So you see another flyer we have. This is a flyer that has all the details about the company, and they're working on getting these. Some of them can be branded now. They're still working out some details on that. And you see the word Desi. You're going to see that a lot. Desi is something that Robert Palmer himself created to help customize some of the marketing materials we have. And it's an AI bot basically that helps you with your pictures. Everyone ever been to a website and try to put your picture and you have to crop it and adjust it and it's all over the place and it's a pain in the ass? Let's be honest. He created it to where it's super easy. A couple clicks of the button, you can resize it, it drops in, looks perfect. So there's no music to this, but Robert Palmer owns a print facility down near our headquarters in Lakeland, which is outside of, I believe, Orlando. But you can see some of the marketing pieces, and this kind of leads into, guess what? Create your brand. Do you like red, white, and blue? Do you like black and gold? Do you like pink? Anything you like, as long as it follows state guidelines, you're good with. You know, this company isn't about them. Anybody ever seen a red, white, and blue sign? 3 stripes that you can't change no matter what you do? Just saying. Who's that about? Them, right? So, but yeah, you can see all these things. It's kind of showing off some of the creativeness of some of the LPT agents we have. So if you can think it, we can do it. Just make sure that it's, you know, looks good, it's compliant, things like that with the state guidelines, but you can create the things you like. And some of those things look absolutely awesome. And you can also brand. We're talking about getting ahead with listing power tools. Some of these boxes, you can actually brand on the outside of the box too. All right, so some of the guiding principles with the company. Real estate first. I'm going to say this probably time and time again because some of the other places, it almost feels like it's more about just recruiting a bunch of agents. Okay, goodbye. Here you go, you get to go. All right. Right on. Yeah. So real estate first, helping agents do more business, placing emphasis on deals. You know, that's what it's about. We got a real estate license to sell real estate. We did not get into real estate to say, oh, I'm going to try and recruit everybody under the sun. You know, we want to share the opportunity in a very professional, cordial, easygoing attitude to kind of just let you know what's out there. Let you know what's new in town or new to the state or what's happening so you can make a decision for yourself. No high pressure tactics, cornering you in a room. I've seen that in some places. Just know it's all about real estate first. We already talked about the branding, but we want you to stand out over and above, and it's all about choices for the agent. So how do we make sure this is real estate first? You know, we can preach about it, but what has the company done to make sure it's about real estate first? Well, to provide a level playing field for anybody in this room that's LPT and talking to other agents, guess what? You can't offer anything of value. You can't say, come to me, I'm going to give. I've seen people in other places offer up money, stock, resources, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but this company does not want people doing that, because once somebody builds up and say they're making $1 million a month, how are you going to compete with that? About as well as you can compete with Zillow. So, but if you have a team, you have things that you can share. You know, of course, you have a team set up, by all means, you can share that. And a lot of our people at the company are creating statewide, not just statewide teams, national teams, dropping their teams in other locations. You know, and I believe, David Kurtz, that's you, right? You're in Florida, you have a team in Virginia. Yes. So perfect example. David came up, him and Jeanette came up, and they were, you know, they went up to Northern Virginia. They were in Richmond. Now they're here supporting us. But that's what we do, you know. But you can grow your team all over the country. You know, there's no more like, oh my God, like I just have to be in little old Norfolk or Virginia Beach. You know, you can literally create a company within a company for yourself with all the resources and tools they have.
Can I touch on that for a second?
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Something very unique that I like about LPT is that everything that Robert does and every penny that he spends is about how can we make our agents more productive? How can we make more deals? His purchases are not vain, they're not about vanity, oh look at me, look what I bought. It's more about if we have homevalue.com, that puts more leads into your pocket. If we have Zillow, that puts more leads into your pocket, right? Right now, we're the #1 purchaser for Zillow leads in the entire country, at $650,000 a month. That's going to continue to grow,
Woo.
right? And so, and we're beta testing it now in Florida, but that's going to continue to grow. So to Terry's point about teams, how can we take people out of the idea? Because originally, if you guys been in the business for 10, 15 years, teams weren't even a big thing, right? And then it was like, oh wow, I can have leverage. And then all of a sudden, this glass ceiling was created where you had a team and maybe it got to 20, 30 people, a mega team, but you're still in your bubble, right? And so we're putting a lot of attention and we're creating a lot of opportunity to grow out of the bubble and develop teams in other cities and other states without you having to get licensed there. And creating other businesses that you can build revenue through. And so some of those things we'll announce next week, like the Nexus that we're announcing next week.
Yeah.
So a lot of this stuff is really interesting. So it even surpasses what Jeanette and I have done in having expansion teams in 2 states. It takes it to the next level. It's how big can we make this?
Right.
And that's what we want our agents to realize, that there is no ceiling
Yeah.
in this business.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. That was great. And touch that last point, there is no ceiling, guys. Like if you're a mom and pop shop, you know, any independent, doesn't matter who you are. And locally we have what? Wainwright is probably the biggest one. I think they got like 400 agents. But what's that? Yep. Yeah. So I mean, but at the end of the day, where can those agents grow? They can't. It's in Virginia Beach. That's it. Nowhere else. Nowhere else. You know, even if you have an amazing support staff or broker or anything like that, you're stuck still in that one little town. If that's good for you, great, stay there. That's fine. If you're a big thinker with a big dreams and everything else, take it other places. If you can provide value to other people, go other places. I mean, social media, it used to be what, 7 degrees of separation? What do they say now with Facebook and Instagram and everything? It's like 4, I think. Something like that. It's like 4 degrees. So that means everybody on the planet is connected to somebody through 4 levels. Anybody can go out and, if you have enough, you've been in business long enough, you can talk to your friend. With us, you can talk to your friend in Texas, in Florida, in Colorado, Tennessee, and they see something like this, they might want to do it. I mean, and right now, Tane, I mean, most of you know Tane probably, local guy here, doing well. But he's taken his business from Virginia Beach, and he already has people in Texas, and he has people in Tennessee, and he has people in Florida. And he's already starting to grow that. Last company, he had 11, 12 people in 3 or 4 years. And he's already got 40 people probably, right, Thane? Yeah. It's already 40 people inside of 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Not bad, not bad. Another great thing about this company, to make sure people aren't focused just on recruiting, if you can find 15 people personal, 15 agents that can produce, sell a house every 6 months, and you can help them hopefully do more, by having 15 people, doesn't matter what plan they choose, you unlock all 7 levels of compensation. And that, you may not be able to wrap your head around that right now, but just know, if it goes from 1 to 2 and 2 to 5 and 5 to 50, that's a lot of money you're leaving on the table. You know, they don't want you focused on that, but I think anybody in this room could find a few people to talk to. To encourage agents to focus on real estate sales versus recruiting, and help agents, okay, basically I'll just tell you what it says because I'm not even going to read it, you can't see it from here. But basically they want you to focus on it the first, and this goes to the next section, first 120 days, you're not going to get paid any rev share. So they do not want you focused on, oh my God, I'm going to go recruit everybody, I just joined. Figure out what you're doing in real estate first. Change your signs, change your cards, get everything figured out, learn all of our tools and processes so you can hit the ground running with your sales business, because that's why we're licensed, and you can go after it. And to make sure that you're not doing it, you're also going to have to pay all into rev share. You're going to have to pay into your cap through your rev share if you think you're just going to recruit. You still got to pay a cap here. Other companies, you don't always have to pay a cap on. And that's crazy to me, because some companies, you don't have to put money in to take money out. We're not like that. We want everybody to be on a level playing field. And down at the bottom, you'll see the fine print. They're never going to have to change the parameters of how this model works, because they immediately say for every dollar that comes in, 50 cents is going to get back to the agents to be split up. So 50 cents of every dollar goes back to the agents to get split up. They don't have to figure out crazy math and what if this happens, what if that happens. It just works, guys. It just works. So with the logo, we talked about it can be any color. It's simple by design. Just follow your state guidelines. You saw in the video that a lot of people do it different ways. You can use the horizontal, the circle. It's just easy to use and plug in anywhere. Black, white, pink, green, whatever you want to do with it, put it on your brand, follow your state guidelines, and you'll be golden. Everyone asks about these billboards. Skip. Just playing. But no, down in Florida, again, I'm going to reference that because we are all new in Virginia. But as of right now, they are putting you, if you go down to Florida, we do have a conference coming up in a week. You will see billboards with LPT all over them. So every time someone sells a house, they get put up on an LPT billboard, guys. You know, well, except for everywhere but Florida right now. So we're not going to say just Virginia. We're not like the redheaded stepchild. But, you know, they're looking at options for that to happen in other places. So if you happen to go to the conference or you're visiting and you see if you're with LPT and see your face in Florida, hey, it's on a billboard. But they're looking at options in other states. But no company does that. What's that? Where? Oh, what a thing.
Like if Virginia agents be on a billboard in Florida?
I haven't seen it.
So Robin told me, so how it's work, like apparently some of us, actually I had a Texas agent on a Florida billboard for his first closing. But essentially the billboard goes, you get posted on a billboard automatically to the nearest location. So the nearest to us from what he said was Tampa, he believes. So we've been on billboards, we just don't know.
What?
That's funny. And like I got a notification, I think, and it was like the little mock-up with my picture on it.
Yeah.
That's the mock-up, but I saw the actual, someone,
Had to be like,
yeah, one of my Florida agents took a picture of my Texas agent, and like, holy shit.
Yeah, you're on there. Yep. So they're just looking at options on ways to make that happen, but just know it is going everywhere. And just like this right here, they have a relationship. Robert has a relationship with Scripps, which is the news station here. So that's why we're here. You know, so the relationships he's created through marketing and other things like that, these billboards, his reach is massive, guys. And the fact that he's willing to take that and everything he's worked for and plug it right back into the agents. And as David said, it's not about him. It really isn't. If you get a chance to meet the man and talk to him, you'll realize really quick it's about us. And we should embrace that. So again, dual comp plans, luxury options, it's an open ecosystem. We'll go skip to that because a lot of people are like, well, he has a mortgage company. Do we have to use that? No, he doesn't want you to. Don't. Real estate is a local business. It's face-to-face, belly-to-belly, however you want to say it. But at the end of the day, he wants you to go out and create your own relationships. Create your title relationship that you know with a great local closing company or attorney. Find that local mortgage person that's going to support you in your business. That's what we want you to do. We're not going to tell you, this is the LPT company. That's not going to happen here, guys. Everybody here probably has a preferred person. They don't want to be forced to use somebody else. Or as some brokers like to say, we highly encourage you to use our people. You know why that is? Because they're paying for the lights in the office. Why can't you go do that yourself? And that's what we all can do. Okay, awesome. Lead programs, we already talked about it. Homevalue.com. You know, it's going to be big, guys. It's going to be big. Here's another video. We're going to let Lawrence K. Bird take the floor again, just for a hot second. Does anybody speak Spanish in here?
Burrito.
I don't know. First one we're going to go through is the English version.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm just letting everyone know that I'm selling my house.
Okay, stop that. That's not how you sell a home. You need marketing, tough guy. Have you canvassed your neighborhood with door hangers, flyers?
No.
Have you sent out targeted mail to potential buyers in the area? No. Have you built a dedicated website specifically showcasing your home? No. Now, did you know that a homevalue.com agent will do all of it for you? No. So,
Jesus.
what you're doing right now is smart? No.
Not this one. All right, and I asked about Spanish.
¿Qué estás haciendo?
Solo estoy dejando saber a todos que estoy vendiendo mi casa.
Está bien, pana. Así no se vende una casa. Necesitas mercadeo, chico. Has pintado tu vecindario con letreros y volantes en las puertas.
No.
Has enviado correo dirigido a compradores potenciales en el área.
No.
Has creado un sitio web dedicado que muestre específicamente tu hogar.
No.
Ahora bien, ¿sabías que un agente de Home Value hará todo eso por ti?
No.
¿Crees que lo que estás haciendo ahora es inteligente?
So a lot of our marketing materials are in Spanish as well. I had a friend of mine in Texas, right by the border of Mexico, does not speak good English, but when we talked about it, I connected him with some of the materials we have. He's like, look, I'm in, you know. So just know that it's not, and especially even around here, we have so many military people, you know, and we're a mix of everything here. I can't even begin to tell you. I grew up here. It's my hometown. It's a little bit of everybody. So we got to offer up options. And this company's based in Florida, which you obviously know, we've got to have even more options down there for everyone. But we've already went through kind of generational wealth. We'll get into details on how some of that works towards the end. But we're going to talk about business operations and then get into some agent development. But this is LPT Connect. This is proprietary software that was created by Robert Palmer, and it's very easy to use, very basic by design and intentional. We don't need a bunch of flash and a bunch of things to distract us from what we're trying to do. We just need to get in and figure out how to handle our business. So when you go into it, it's also mobile friendly, which you would think goes without saying, but there's a lot of companies out there that still haven't figured out how to get things on your phone. But all of your systems are in one hub. Single sign-on makes it super simple. At any drop of a hat, you can pull out your phone and figure out your transactions, stock, go to the knowledge base to get learning on things of that nature. You can track everything you have here. Of course, company email, rev share, stock, things of that nature. But it also has access to, your marketing profile. We talked about billboards. So literally, when you join, you walk through a very easy step-by-step process. It's like 7 or 8 steps. And in that 5 minutes, now you've created everything you need to get all the marketing materials for free. That billboard that you're going to get, that's done too. When that time comes for them to put you up on that billboard. But everything's done. And then, of course, company news, you get to stay on that. Community forums, if you have questions or you don't have a support question, but you're just kind of curious, jump in the community forums. All right, we use .loop for our digital signing. A lot of us have probably been familiar with that, or things like SkySlope, same kind of thing. It's an online filing cabinet, has e-sign built into it. All your transactions go into it, so you can manage everything. In this market, we can still use Authenticsign. You can still get everything signed any way you want. That's up to you. But at the end of the day, you upload it to, almost said SkySlope, .loop. Upload it to .loop, and then it's there. It can be reviewed. That's how we get paid. And you get all your stuff in there, and it's checked out and approved, you'll get paid. Okay? So just know it's all integrated seamlessly. And of course, editable contracts, we're working on getting those things for Virginia as well. And then we're just growing. We're just getting into the mix here. We do offer Chime. Anybody familiar with Chime? That didn't find out about it at LPT? All right. So Chime is an awesome, awesome CRM, guys. It does a little bit of everything. You can read the stuff up there, but you can create just about anything, additional pages, you can create just about anything you want inside of Chime. I mean, you can send brownies out from Chime if you want to integrate it right. But as it says, you can nurture leads, email drips, text drips, automations, AI chatbots in there. All of those things are built inside of it, and we get Chime. Now, they're working through some of the details on Chime exactly because they went out and basically picked up what they call an enterprise edition of Chime, which Chime didn't really understand what LPT wanted, so there's been a little bit of confusion with everything. But just know Chime is our preferred CRM that we get to handle our business. And these are some of the add-ons that they're just coming out with as far as admin staff seats. It's $35 to bring an admin in because they're not an agent. Chime Dialer, if you want the dialer inside of Chime, but Chime itself is, if you try to get a team platform with Chime, I think it's like $700-800, right, Tane? Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. But, yeah. So guys, look, look at those numbers. You can run your full-on business with these marketing tools and this CRM. You don't need anything else. Dedicated AI bot. There's just an article that came out, and I shared it, I think, to one of the LPT groups. Independent source just wrote an article about Chime and the AI chatbot. It's like 90% effective on trying to engage people. It's pretty insane. And dedicated instance, that's where if you want a full customized, and I think, Tane, you just got a dedicated instance yourself, right? You get the full-blown platform, team platform, for $150 as opposed to the $1,000 or $1,100, whatever David was saying. If you're just coming as an agent, you don't have to pay for it. So, but that's if you're solo. So just keep that in mind. All right, so listing power tools. This is where the name LPT comes from, if you didn't put that together just yet. LPT, or listing power tools, is everything you see here. It's the box, listing power tools. Robert Palmer put together listing power tools a few years back, or I think it was like 2016, somewhere in there. There's a lot of people. He's been selling across the country for years. And agents at all companies can still go out and buy this. They'll get a box with 168 pieces of marketing material, and they're paying around $400 or so a month for a box or two. Every single time anyone gets a listing at LPT, we get a box shipped to us for free. We can go in, upload the pictures, we can put a couple more pieces of information on it. It takes 2 minutes, and within normally 48 hours, it's going to show up at your front door. And now you've got 168 pieces you can go out there and promote. Canvass the neighborhood, knock on doors, send a teenager if you have a kid or someone else's kid to go pass them out. Whatever you want to do with it, get rid of the box. But inside of Listing Power Tools, it's not just the box, but you also get access to digital marketing. There's direct mail built inside of it. And here we're going to get one more message from Robert, and hear a little bit from him, and hear his vision.
Good afternoon, everybody. Excited to be here today to talk about the future of listing power tools and Robert Palmer companies. As many of you know, in 2016, we embarked on a mission to build marketing technology for real estate agents.
Is that loud enough?
And I had this goal to make some of the best marketing and philosophies and things that I've used in my businesses available to real estate agents. But as we went down this journey, we started to realize that unfortunately, as a software as a service, as a SaaS provider, that our interests weren't necessarily aligned with the agents that we served. And so my team and I sat down and we thought about how can we reinvent this company in a way where our interests are aligned, where we can roll out the best possible technology for our agents to help them sell the most homes possible and be as successful as possible and help as many customers of theirs as possible. And we realized that the best way to do that was to become a real estate brokerage. And starting in 2018, we made the decision that that's the direction we were going to go. So here we are almost 4 years later, and I'm proud to announce that Listing Power Tools is giving birth to LPT Realty.
So that's at 1,200. Ignore that. That slide is off. We're actually over 3,000. So inside of a year, you saw the date. They said February 1st. is when he made that announcement. But this company literally, it took the last company I was with 7 years to get to 3,000. Took this company less than a year. The next closest is, I think, 12 years. So if that gives you any indication of where this is going with people like David and Heather and Alan and Christian and Christine and Tom now here and all of us, right? All of us. It's going to get crazy, guys. And of course, Jeanette in the back. Yep. All right, so this is Robert in his, I call it dungeon. It doesn't look like a dungeon. This is him coding. This is what he does for fun, guys. He puts stuff together that is good for us, you know? Yeah, why not? What are you doing today? I don't know. I'm going to go lock myself in a room and go to a ranch in Montana and
Do you know
go
the
to work.
story on how he started with this?
I heard a little bit. You can share it probably better than I can.
2008 market crashes, many of us remember that, and reverse mortgages became a big thing. So he wanted to create a software that would make it easy for the consumer to understand the numbers. At the time, there wasn't really anything out there, so he hired 3 different companies, and they didn't get it exactly how he wanted it. So he did what any normal person would do. He went to Barnes and Nobles, bought a few books on coding, learned it, and did it over the weekend, right? And so now, since then, he now writes in 13 different coding languages, and he actually is responsible for all the stuff that's been built for our company already.
Yeah. So just know we're in good hands, guys, because I know I brought up some suggestions, ideas, whatever you want to call them, and other people brought them to the table too. And every time he's like, okay, give me a little bit. I'm going to work on this. I'm like, what? You? And yeah. And next thing you know, boom, it's there.
And it's interesting, you know, if you guys think about that, you know, he's a self-made billionaire, right, with a B. And so he could have come up with this idea for this company and then hired really great people to execute on his idea and just kind of overwatched. But he did it. He writes the code himself. He's in it every single day. He's putting in 18-hour days every single day. He's creating the sacrifice of time with his family. He's doing it. He's like full body in on this entire thing. And I think that means a lot when you think about what we're doing and what we're building together. He stands by his word. When he says he's going to do something, he goes out and does it himself with his team.
Right. And he really does. And the great thing is that he doesn't have that big head syndrome that a lot of us have probably met agents that never sold a house have, you know? Who's ever done a deal with somebody and they feel like they need to talk down to you for them to be successful? It doesn't make any sense. What's yeah, I know. It's so funny. Like, I've been licensed 20 years. I've never used those words, but I had someone that had been licensed 35 years. Like, I've been licensed 35 years. I'm like, oh my God, I thought we were past this, you know, but I still hear it, you know? So I'm like, geez, guys, stop. But the point is, like, Robert's not that. He has every reason on the planet to pat himself on the back, but at the end of the day, the only reason we share his stories is because of what he's doing, because he's still in it. He hasn't jumped in, checked out, and hiding behind the curtain and just saying, oh, that's so-and-so's job, that's so-and-so. I mean, he jumps on the phone to talk to us if we have questions, concerns. You know, I know he's personally reached out to Tane. I know he's had conversations with a lot of you in this room just to have a conversation, or maybe he's hopped on a presentation you didn't even know he was showing up for, and he just walks in the room or jumps on the Zoom call.
They did that a couple weeks ago.
Oh, you were that guy. Yeah, he just jumped on.
He stood there, he just stayed there for like an hour and a half, an hour presentation. I'm like,
Yeah, I think he's got a body double. Just playing. But no, he jumps into these things to see how people are sharing this opportunity, what they have to share, what they have to offer. And he's just like, he's blown away. And then when he sees someone putting in the effort and putting in the time to work, guess what? He wants to get closer to you too, because he knows you're putting in the energy to make this thing a go and to look out for yourself. So with that said, these are our boxes. You can look at all the different amounts of pieces you get. You can come up here and look at these when you're done. But this is what you get with every single listing. And then what do you got to do after you get it? Get rid of it. Yeah. Empty the box. They're like, what do I do with it? Pass it out. Take it around your neighborhood. Take it around your friends. Take it around your church, your school. Pass it around the neighborhood that you just got the listing in. Whatever works. The point is you just want to get these things in front of people because now it's real estate your face, real estate your name, real estate, and that's all you want to do in the whole real estate game. Connect the dots. So when someone thinks of real estate, they're thinking of you. Because if you don't do it, I guarantee you there's a room full of people here. There's a ton of agents in Florida that are going to do it. So why not do it with your own people and start breaking things out that you probably would have had to spend thousands on to create, and then when it gets outdated, you have to go back and do it again. But this company keeps them updated. All right, so you can kind of see there's a text code. Every agent gets their own phone number, their own unique identifier for the code there, and you can text the code and it'll take you to the house's website. It's done. It's done, guys. You don't have to create that. And just like these materials, a lot of this is just demos, but you just upload 3 pictures, call it a day. It's super, super easy. This is the sign writer you get for every single listing. You can see that at the top of the box. It just kind of hangs from your post sign. Has all the calls to action you need. All right, so how do you do it? I'm not going to go through every detail, but literally you can log in. You can see you have some different options. The top left slide, or the left slide, not top left. The top left box says Power Pack. That's the one you normally get for your new listings. If you want to do mail and canvas a neighborhood, you can do the one next to it. It says Power Mail. The one next to that says Digital Marketing. So within a couple clicks, you can go through, get this box ordered. It's coming to you for free. You can do the Power Mail. That's going to cost you, but it's going to go out to up to, I think, 1,000 of the closest neighbors in a radius. And then, what's that?
You can filter it too, by if it's tenants you want or owner.
Oh yeah, yep, good point.
How many years they've lived there.
Yeah, so you can specifically target, and if they've been in, they say people move 5, 6, 7 years, target people that have been in their house a few years, target people that are, homeowners. Because most agents will just target a neighborhood, but I'm glad you brought that up because it's a hell of a point. But yeah, you get in there, but you can do that. So literally you get a listing, you can knock out all your marketing for that listing in a few minutes. You don't have to think about, oh, what's so-and-so doing? How do I do this? It just gets done. Some of the stuff does cost. The boxes are free. Your first marketing guide's free. Your first flyer's free. Everything you need is complimentary. Excuse me?
Any mail marketing that you get sent out, they give you the CSV file of the addresses they use.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
going after your campaign and
Yeah. Yeah.
Follow-up campaign.
No, and that's huge. I didn't even know that. That's awesome. Yeah, so you get that list, you can retarget them in multiple ways. And then the second row there, your classic box is the one you see in the front. Then you could also order Express, which I don't know why you'd ever want to do Express because 48 hours is pretty fast. Express is maybe 24 hours with a lot less pieces. The prospecting box off to the right, that's if you don't need this one. So say someone had a listing and I didn't have a listing, I can order a prospecting box. Now that would cost $99, but you're going to get 320 pieces of marketing materials. And you just got to get rid of it, pass it out. And then of course we have boxes you can customize towards just listed, open houses, waterfront, but any additional boxes you get for a house, or if you're getting a box for a listing you don't have, $99. Plus you pay shipping for like 15, 20 bucks. But you get all of that, guys, all of that. Then you come over here, you can customize it, you can add your own taglines, the headlines, you can change the colors that you like. You see some stuff up here is blue, some of it's green down at the end. Again, they have a bunch of colors you can choose from, but it's getting your information on it so they can contact you. And then you can see over there, you get to proof everything before you click the button to say submit. And I don't know where they're at, but there's actually on that last one on the right, off on the bottom left, you can see that it's kind of like a neighborhood report. Yeah, and I probably can't see it from here, but this is the neighborhood report. And you guys can come up and see this. I'll even give you one, pass around. But it literally just opens up, has a picture of the house on the front, right? Has, again, calls to action at the bottom with your face, your phone number, everything like that. You open it up, and then it's going to tell you, again, you're branded to it. Another picture, it's going to show you a map, and it's going to tell you where the coffee shops are, how close you are to the hospitals, how close you are to the pharmacy, the movie theater. And then guess what? It's going to put it all on a map to show you where it's at. So when someone goes through and looks at the house, they're like, oh, this agent really did it. Oh, they're close to this, close to that. And then the other agent's like, damn, I don't have anything like that. Oops, you're in the wrong place. So just to give you food for thought on that. All right, so as you can see, you select your headshot. They're just not going to grab something from your profile on some social media, but you get to choose it, and then you get to use Desi to make sure it's the right size you want, the right angle you want. Whatever you're trying to create, just have the picture right. It'll remove the background, and you'll be golden with it. And then you choose the colors you want to. Like I like blue, some other people like yellow, green, gray, but it's all up to you on how you want to brand yourself. All right, so the marketing plan, you can see the table of contents there. I think it says 21 is the last thing. It's like 25, almost 30 pages. But this marketing guide is phenomenal. And what it does, it literally walks them through anything that you probably have in your listing presentation now is in this book, just more. And what it does, it talks about all the pieces of marketing that we're going to share and use to help market their property. So as you have that, you're going to be able to go through here and really promote yourself, because you're sitting in front, your face is on the front, so you are the expert, and then you get to go through here, and it talks about the thank you cards that are in the box. It talks about the business cards. They're not just business cards with the picture of the house on one side with the call to action, and then your name and information on the other side. So you can even give those to the clients, give them the cards. Like, hey, pass these out to your coworkers. And like, oh, that's so awesome, it's a picture of my house. Guess what they're gonna do? Pass it out, but now your information's on the other side. How many times have you talked to somebody and you're like, hey, don't forget to tell you get a new listing, you're trying to tell them to go somewhere, talk to your friends, tell them, your house is for sale. It's a good way, word of mouth. But if you had a card to give with your information, I've had a lot of people tell me over the years, oh, I told my cousin, to come look at it. And with now, I can just give them the card. Say, hey, Pat, give your cousin the card. Now they have my phone number. So it just speaks volumes. And it takes them all through everything. And all, what do they say? All avenues point right back to you, the professional, with what we have. All right? And this is just talking about the three keys to increasing marketing demand. It's all about exposure, the emotion of it all, and then repetition of getting the word out. All of that stuff's in the marketing guide. And I'll go a few more things there, but you can come up here and take a look at it when we're done. There's that crazy bird again.
If you want to see exactly what home value marketing is, go to homevalue.com, just type in your address, and you can immediately download a detailed marketing plan for free that shows you step by step exactly how your home is going to be sold for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. I mean, the marketing research, it's all been done for you. The data's all there. It's as plain as the nose on your face. Yeah, I know, I don't have a nose on my face, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that you do. Homevalue.com.
Right.
You need home value marketing, tough guy.
Yeah, right. So, so you can see it's taking it everything from offline, online, and it's going back and forth. It's going to be TV, well, in Florida it already is, TV, radio, print, in your face, emails. It's all encapsulating everything, because every other company is like, well, you go do all this. They want you to do it all. And this company's like, we're going to give you everything, and just very minimal involvement from yourself. Very little. Too many people out there giving other companies, won't even name names, they might be giving them $20, $30, $50, $80,000 a year, and they don't have anything close to this. Why would they do that? Well, that might change very soon. All right, so a little bit more. We talked about business operations. Now, some agent development things. This is Robert Palmer when he got to speak to his not his graduating class, but a graduating class. He is young, but he's not that young. But he's speaking to his high school, or the high school that he went to. This is pretty awesome. Give me chills.
It is now my pleasure to introduce a very special guest speaker from the class of 1998, Mr. Robert Palmer.
Years ago, I sat
Yeah, so how many people encourage people to grow and be big enough to take their name off their building? And he wants that, you know? When I heard that for the first time, I was like, oh my God, like he really is, he's speaking into this, like what everybody wants. Like everybody wants to get to a point to where they either, you know, not everybody, but most people want to feel like they got a building or, you know, something that they've worked for that they can show. He has all that. And now he's trying to help people do that for themselves. You know, no matter what company you're at or been with or anything like that, at the end of the day, most brokerages aren't going to tell you exactly what to do to open your own brokerage because they don't want to compete with you. Most team leaders aren't going to tell their team members how to grow their own team because they don't want to compete with you. But here, we're all helping everybody outdo each other. That's the fun part, you know. There's so many people in this room that have been in business just a few years that are blowing the doors off of things. And the fact is, they jumped onto this so they can do it even more and help more people, just like Robert's vision himself. So with education and training, it's a huge factor for all agents, not just new agents. It's extremely important for all of us. Whether you've been in the business 2 days, 20 years, 30 years, things change on a regular basis. The great thing is that we have trainings. We have the live trainings. We have on demand. Of course, you can jump on a Zoom with some of our Richmond rock stars. I know David's doing some coaching. Guess what? It's free, guys. Jeanette's doing some great things. You know, jump in, learn from her. You know, all these people are pouring into everybody at this company so we don't have to turn around and do the, you know, dog-eat-dog world of everybody trying to compete with everybody else. The only people we're competing with, we're just trying to bring people along for the ride here. You know, come get some free stuff, pay less money, earn more, and let's all network, jump in some free coaching classes, jump in some presentations, learn about for sale by owners. I just saw something Tane did. You know, he posted some for sale by owners to everybody at the company. You know, Austin, I see your stuff too, man. Yeah, yes, you're starting to put out your first YouTube, man. Good stuff. But as far as LPT goes, we're all sharing and all inviting everybody to our groups, to our trainings, to our events. And then we also have a knowledge base that you can get into, and it's 24/7 access. You can jump in there, watch the recordings, learn from others, figure out what people are doing. And guess what? If you have questions, ask them directly because they're going to answer. We're here to help, you know? So, oh yeah, and join one of the groups.
The uniqueness about this company is that it's all inclusive. There's no scarcity.
Yep.
And many companies start separating as they grow, and so people want to be with this group and that group. You want to be part of the grasshoppers or the crickets or whatever, you know.
True story.
And we got rid of that scarcity, so everyone is capable of being a part of everyone's groups.
Right.
And that's a big deal, right? So my coaching that I offer, it's not for my group, it's for the company. And that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's huge, especially if you've been at any other brokerage. I've never been anywhere that's like this, ever. You know, and I've tried a lot. Those first 10 years, I probably went to 10 different places, just being honest. I was that agent, trying everybody. But at the end of the day, jumping into this, you can jump in and learn from everyone. And even if someone's been licensed a year or two, doesn't mean they know less. You know, I know agents that have been licensed a year or two that know more than that person that's 35 years deep in it. That's true. You know, that's what's happening here. And then we have local trainings that we offer. You know, we can get all this recorded stuff. We can jump in these Zoom calls. A lot of times people are like, what about, I just want some live interaction. Great, jump in some of our live classes. You know, I've seen a bunch of people locally giving live classes. I know that, Tanya, you've had local things out in Chesapeake, right? At a coffee shop, doing their thing. You know, Tane's had a great class up at Gather in Town Center. You know, Alan and Heather rocked it with a presentation on short-term rentals. Yeah, everyone's invited to these things, guys. Everyone.
And you need to do a class on
He's just getting started, but he's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, Tane's class was on how to make $200,000 your first year in real estate. I couldn't give that class. I didn't make $200,000 my first year in real estate. Tane did, so go to his class. You know, so just saying. You know, there's certain people people that are giving the classes know what they're talking about. David knows what he's talking about. Tane knows what he's talking about. Tanya knows what he's talking about. Jeanette knows we got so many awesome people, guys, that you can pull from at any given moment. So you're not like, you don't have to jump in because some of those companies like, you know, I don't know who to talk to and who to work with. Who do you want to work with? You know, that's what it is. Because we're all going to pour into you. All right. You need help? How many times people try to talk to their broker, reach out to support, and had to wait for an email to come back or a text message to come back? I see you laughing there. How long does it take for you to get your answers is the question. Days? Weeks? Days? Yeah. So a lot of people can be at companies that sometimes it can take days to get a response. We can't wait days. Not in real estate, not in 2023. So you need help? Of course, you can hit up anyone that's at LPT and ask. But if you truly don't just want to ask someone and might get a halfway answer or anything like that, we have support. And you can literally text, call, email. We have a chat bubble too if you want to do a chat bubble if that's your thing. Now, how that works? LPT Connect, you log in. It's the hub of everything, guys. It makes it super easy. I tell people all the time, it looks basic for a reason. It's not because it's an accident and couldn't figure out how to make it flashy. It doesn't need to be flashy to work. Just like in real estate, if you're trying to create the best real estate website on the planet and you haven't sold a house in a few months, maybe you just go out and talk to some people. Maybe that'll help, Don't try and create that best postcard or best website. I've been there. I tried to create the best website. It didn't matter. But how do you support? So the chat bubble's there when you log in. If you're on your phone, wherever you are, you go in, pick a department, and literally start the chat. Now, if you're not feeling like the chat, you can jump in here. You can start a support ticket. If it's not pressing, start a support ticket. These tickets are reviewed all the time, guys. All the time. Robert himself gets in to check out these tickets and check out the response times to make sure things are getting handled, make sure they're working, make sure people are getting answers. And then at the very top of our support page, there's that phone number for you to call. Sometimes you're like, well, I don't want to log in to figure something out. Great, pick up the phone. Save that, LPT support. Save it in your phone, call or text it. I can't tell you how many times in 20 years, either when I owned my own company or when I was at my last company, I was the support system a lot of times. Because at some companies you have to log into something separate to get to it. You have to log into a different program. You have to wait for the broker to text you back or call you back. Or maybe they have a different system. I don't know. But the truth is, chat, call, text, chat bubble, we've got everything you need. We've made it very simple to where you can just use your cell phone for everything, which is what we already do, right? It's what we already do, so why try and complicate things? Every Monday, there's Motivational Monday at 10 o'clock Eastern. Most of the time, Robert himself is going to be on there and going to go over kind of the state of the company, what's coming up, what's next, what we've changed, what we've added. And we have our big real estate conference coming up next week down in Petersburg, St. Petersburg, right? St. Pete's. Yep. For the Grand Prix. And, there's just things that they're putting out. So that big event was talked about this past Monday. He talked about Chime this past Monday. And I think he said there's going to be like 15 new announcements or something crazy. Was it 15? It's insane. So if there's not enough already, give it a week. There'll be a lot more. And that's probably any week of the year, guys, for real.
Come down, there's still space available.
Yep.
Just weather you got right now that you're not going to have on Saturday.
Yeah. Yep. If you wake up tomorrow and you're cold and you're like, I wish it was warm, come to Florida with us. We'd be happy to have you. All right? But yeah, just know that he's in there, and again, he is extremely involved. He's more involved than any CEO or founder I've ever seen in my life, ever, because he has a passion for this. And he's not doing it because he wants to he wants it to be the most valuable real estate company, not for his own sake, but for all of ours. And that's when he looked at this model and he started taking apart this model that offered, say, stock or rev share, this model that offered 100%, this model that was a 70-30, and then he put it all together. He put it all together, added the CRM, added the print, added the digital, and then said, you know what, on top of all this, we're going to offer some different plans up. You want your own brokerage? Do our lab. You want to do an 80-20 and be traditional? Do that. You want a 100% model and just play a flat fee on every deal for your first 10? Do that. We've got the whole package. And if I haven't even talked about this yet, some of the slides you see at the bottom, it says brokerage for life. That's what we're building, a brokerage for life, so no one ever has to do what I personally have done multiple times in 20 years, and I'm sure a lot of people in the room, is jump around. I've only been at 2 companies in the past 8 years, but before that, like I said, it was a lot. And I think most people that are in real estate, they're always trying to figure out where to go and what to do. They're like, oh, it's a cheaper commission. Oh, they're going to give me this. Oh, they're going to. But you start putting things together, you're like, okay, well, what don't we have at this point? And you start looking at it all together, you're like, okay, well, it seems like you guys got everything. And if there's something you think we don't have, please let me know, David, Christian, anybody in this room that's LPT, and let's run up the chain, see if we can get it too, because they're listening. They're listening. All right, mentorship, this is completely optional. I'm not going to spend hardly any time on it. They're trying to put it all together and make it, make it an official program. It's just optional now because right now this isn't going to impact us in Virginia. So if you have someone that's new and asking about being a mentor, be their mentor. And if you aren't sure what to do with that, I know Heather's done a great job with mentoring agents locally, now and her previous company, and several people in this room have done that too at other companies. So just reach out to people that have that experience if you yourself don't want to be that mentor. All right, so leadership opportunities, agent advisory council. I can't remember, this just got put together. Jeanette, aren't you part of that?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so essentially, this council is put together to essentially be the voice for the agents into leadership. And so we'll have 5 different areas of focus: advocacy, community culture, education, and technology. So if there's any areas of concerns or any tips, anything that you guys would, anyone is, this is going to be open for everybody to be a part of, but also this is going to be a moment of you having to have a piece of this, and we're going to be using it through LPT Connect, where you guys can put your tips, and we'll have a committee essentially working on that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, so as we grow, now that we're hitting 3,000, having 3,000 opinions or suggestions gets a little bit overwhelming, as you can imagine. And as much as Robert wants to be involved, getting hit up from every direction is almost impossible. So now there's this agent advisory council, and as Jeanette said, she is definitely part of it. I don't know if there's like someone as the gatekeeper of it all, but she's definitely at the forefront, needless to say. And it's where we can go and voice our concerns, suggestions, how to make things better. Maybe things are working great. Say the good stuff too, But it's covering all the things we need, because at the end of the day, if you watch all those videos that we watched, it's about community. It's about culture. It's about education. And of course, the technology and advocacy is up there too. All of those things are what each one of those videos you saw today encompass. That's how you grow. And whether you're growing a company like LPT, whether you're growing a company like David's coaching program or anyone else's program that they have, or your team, your real estate team, these are the things that you want to focus on. And they make that abundantly clear. This is how you get to it. I mean, you saw that, they're talking about going back about his, high school, his building, but it's all giving back to the community. And it's about that creates the culture that we all need, and the fact that we're not fighting over each other and tripping over to get to agents and things of that nature. That's our culture. We want everybody to win and find their level of success. So we've kind of went through a lot of the value propositions, and there's a lot more stuff coming. As we said, there's probably 15 or so announcements coming next week, which is going to be exciting, guys. And let me see, I don't even know if that opens up. Yep, so let's talk about the numbers real quick. There's no sign-up fees, there's no monthly fees, things of that nature. Too many places out there charge you to join these days. And I don't know when that started, but it definitely is a thing. And then they want to charge you monthly fees. And the story that I got, not directly from Robert, but from someone in leadership, is at one point there was someone that got charged some fees at one of his companies that the person didn't have it. I mean, if we're all in real estate, we know the cycle, the roller coaster, right? We know the roller coaster can be very high highs. You close 3 or 4 deals this month, and then you might look at yourself in the mirror one day and wonder, I haven't closed a house in 2 or 3 months. What do I do? Well, in this situation, that person didn't have the money to pay for that monthly fee, and it bounced. It got kicked back. And then, again, as the story goes, not Robert's words, but somebody close to him, said that he never, ever want that to happen again to anybody associated with any of his companies. So we don't charge monthly fees. We don't charge joint. Why is the company going to make money when you're not? That's what I'd ask myself. If I was anywhere else, why is the company going to collect money from you when you're not making money? If they're supporting you, you should be making money and then saying thank you after the fact.
And those same companies have a full staff of collections, so that they can call you and harass you about your $85 a month.
Yep. Funny number you picked there. But yeah, and that's what it is, guys. So if you're at one of those companies, it's not about talking about any one company or anything like that. But the truth is that split it when you get it. Don't give it to them if you don't have it. And if you have it, just you're getting in the business of selling houses. That's why they're a brokerage, to help you sell houses. If they're really helping you sell houses, sell the house, then give the split. Give them that monthly fee, not even the monthly fee, sorry, take that back, the transaction fee. You know, those are things, because now you're making money. Now it makes sense. It doesn't make sense before that. So out of your first deal, there is no matter what plan you choose, there's a $500 annual fee that's collected for our technology and to cover all your E&O. And then there is a transaction fee of $195 for every transaction. Most of the time, that can be passed off to your clients. You can charge more, you can charge less. You don't have to charge anything. Just know LPT is going to get it. That's how it keeps this whole rocket ship afloat. You know, but you do have the option to charge what you want. You also have the option to charge it to your clients, or if you don't believe in that, which some people have told me before, pay it yourself. It's up to you. Again, your idea of success. So the stocks. A lot of times people ask, well, how many stock shares do I get? Is it real stock? What is it? Well, full disclosure, we are not a public company right now, yet. You guys that are all in this room, and ladies, of course, you are before it goes public. I mean, who would want to be in the garage with the Amazon, Jeff Bezos, or the Google guys? Who would want to be in that room or that garage when it started? That's where we are. Let that sink in. That's where we are. And the fact that you're here and you're with LPT, you're in the right spot. You're here looking at it to decide for yourself, you're in the right spot and the decision's yours. But I can only tell you, things worked out really well when I got in my last company when they only had a couple thousand agents. And now they have 86,000. It worked out really well. Here, we're not even close to going public yet. It's already on the radar. And before we get into the numbers, I'll give you a little insight on the thought process on why we're not public. Because some people are like, well, the naysayers, what are they going to say? They're going to say, oh, it's not worth anything. You're just getting useless stock. There's a plan for this, guys. This guy, Robert Palmer, he's thought of it. I'm telling you, I said it, I'll say it again, I wanted to poke holes in this model so I never had to leave my last company. But every time I came up with something, he came back with something that was just smarter than my idea. Go figure. So what he did, he's like, look, I want to open up a few states, and I want it to grow, I want everybody to do well, and then 2 or 3 years down the road, I'm going to take everything we've done and create our story. And then our story, he's going to take our story at a collective to Wall Street to say, we've done this the last 2 to 3 years. So he's not going to flip the switch and open all 50 states, because he could do that today. I mean, I think just in this room, we cover all 50 states if we wanted to go out and hit everybody we know, because we probably all have interest between all of us that are with LPT now. We could easily get someone in all 50 states, right? But the truth is, he wants to leave some states open, because when he takes that story to Wall Street, and they're like, well, how are you still going to grow from here? Oh, we still got half the country to go. Half the country, and the rest of the world for that matter. So when I say you're in the right seats, you are in the right seats. You're in the right place at the right time. So our stock, you get now, and then once it goes public, that's the shares you're going to have. What's that going to look like? I don't know. But I know everything that's happening here makes me think and leads me to believe it's going to go this way considerably. Not just a fraction, but considerably. Because you're changing the industry. You know, so many places do not have, say, stock or rev share. And guess what? It's not about that. But the fact that you're putting all the tools, the systems, the website, the CRM, the marketing, the print in the hands of the agents with their faces on it, and not like the big brand LPT on the forefront to make it all about the company. Agents like that stuff. Put them on a billboard. Who does not want to be on a billboard? Come on now. Put your hand down. Me and you are going to go on a billboard. What are you talking about? Me and you. Yeah. So they're just doing things different, you know? They're doing things different so everybody can win. If you got licensed yesterday, doesn't matter. You can win at the same level anybody is, you know? And that's the power in this. So with our stocks, as you do transactions, as we said, real estate first. You do your first transaction, guess what the company's going to do? They're going to give you some stock. The third transaction, 15th and 35th. And you see it says business builder in the middle column. That's your $500 transaction. If you pick the $500 transaction model for the first 10 transactions with your $5,000 cap, that's it's called business builder plan. You do the business builder plan for that first transaction, not only are you going to get either an 80-20 split or your 100% minus the 500 in transaction fee, but they're also going to reward you 125 shares of stock. You do your third deal, another 125. You hit your 15th deal, you're doing good, let's give you 1,250 shares. You're blowing the doors off, you hit 35 deals in a year, 2,500 shares of stock. Now, if you decide to go the other route, the rev share partner plan, and do your 80-20 split, pay a little bit more, well, it's a 1.4 times multiplier than what the business builders get. So you pay in more, they realize that you're giving up more to grow, to be a part of something. So they're going to reward you and give you higher incentives. And you can look at those for yourself, but you're getting those. So just even looking at, adding those up, that's a lot of stock, a lot of stock. And you can use any number you want, whether it's $1, you want to say it's worth $5, $10, no one knows what it's going to be. But like I said, with the things LPT's putting in place, with Robert's help, with leadership's help, with all of your help that are in this room with LPT now, does anybody think the stock isn't going to go up? I can't predict the future, but I got a good feeling. So, and then the one at the bottom, 35 deals, called Black Badge. That's the name we give it. And you hit Black Badge, if you can hit that a few years in a row before we hit it, you're going to have a ton of stock. And it's just based on production. You don't need to focus on it. Just keep doing what you're doing. And then the other side is for people that want to tell their friends, their family, their coworkers, people they've worked with in other states, in other businesses that want to get into real estate or in real estate want to bring over an agent or a team or a brokerage. You also get stock when you recruit. So bringing on one agent, they do their first deal. If you're on the business builder plan, you're going to get 250 shares of stock for every single agent you introduce to the company that brings somebody in. And then if you do the 80-20 plan, again, your multiplier, you get 350 shares of stock. Just imagine bringing in 20 agents, 40 agents. I know some people in this room that already have 5, 10, 15, 30, even in their front line in a few months. When I say front line, I'm talking about people you personally brought to the company. And then for anybody you bring to the company, guess what you should probably be doing? Helping them do the same thing, because you want them to win. You should want the people that you bring in to do better than you. If you don't, then there's a problem with that. You should want everybody to do more than you. Just like we all have, well, not everybody, but I'll say for myself, I have 4 kids. I want them all to do bigger and better things than I've ever done. Yeah. But the cool thing is, I've never been at a brokerage that I wanted the same thing for everybody else, ever. I want everybody at LPT to be bigger, better than anything I've ever done in my life. Because guess what happens? If everybody in this room is with LPT in a few weeks, and then over the next few years, everybody's crushing it and doing better than me, and better than David, and better than everybody else in the room, guess what? We're gonna be okay. Because we've been working, selling houses, getting stock, talking to our own friends, our own family, and everybody wins. A rising tide lifts all ships, right? So the more people we help, it's just a big snowball. And right now, it doesn't even feel like we're pushing it up the hill. It seems like it's already going down the hill, but we're just getting started. So that snowball's getting big. And it's already starting to get big. I'd say going down, but we're still doing some upward momentum, but it's just gonna grow. Like I said, 3,000 agents in 1 year. Never, ever has anybody come remotely close to that. If you want to see how long it took other companies to do it, hit me up. I got a chart. I can show you how long it took these other companies to remotely come close to that number. And wait till the end of 23. Wait till the end of 24. When we go public, it's going to be insane. All right, so rev share. How's it work if you introduce a friend to the company? How do you get paid? How much do you get paid? A lot of people ask. So right here it says minimum active direct sponsor. These are people you personally bring into the company. So you personally bring in 3 people to the company. They all sell a house. That is going to be your tier 2. That means you unlock tier 2, and in everyday language, common conversation, you've helped 3 people basically sell one house in 6 months. And hopefully they do more than that. But if you bring in 3 people and they're selling and they're productive, if they're on the business builder plan, you will receive $450 for everyone. Well, let me back up. Everyone that you personally introduce over a year's time, if they cap out on the business builder plans, $775. But that's broken up on each transaction they do. So each transaction someone does that you bring in, you're getting $77.50 because they're doing 10 deals to cap out. Okay? And then if you just go down the list, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, they're showing the max amounts you get on each level. So that's the max amount you'd get at each level for someone you introduce to the company. So $775 isn't going to change anybody's life. $450, $175, any of those numbers isn't going to change anybody's life. Even the ones on the right-hand side are not going to change anybody's life. The power is when everybody starts to chip in and help and grow together, because if you talk to a friend and they talk to a friend and they start to talk to friends, guess what happens? Your group grows. And the bigger you help your friends and your contacts and your agents grow, the bigger your group gets by default. You know, Tane, can I use an example real quick? Okay. Tane came in, he was at last company 3.5 years. He had 11, 12 people, right? And then, I think I might have said this either in the beginning or a conversation earlier, but he's been here 6 weeks, and he's up to, what are you at now? 42. Yeah, and if anybody follows Tane, he's not just out there randomly talking about recruiting to people. He's selling a ton of houses. He's a solo guy selling 70 or so houses a year, doing his own thing. He's also doing YouTube, as somebody mentioned in the back. But he's helping other people do it, you know? He brought Austin in. Austin put out his first YouTube. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. And then he's got William in Florida. He's starting to grow and do his video marketing, because video's where it's at, guys. This isn't even about LPT right now. Video's where it's at. You know, let that work when you're at this. Let that work when you're on vacation. Let your video do the talking when you're on vacation. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of time doing all the work yourself. You know, you want those videos to get the message out so people know who you are when you walk in a room. If you walk in a room and you don't know who they are, but they know who you are, you're winning. Doesn't matter what they have to say, you're winning. Because now they're like, oh yeah, that's Mark. I saw him on Instagram. Sounds like he's doing well. Yeah, he's with us too. Perfect example, we had Heather and Alan. They're like, we were somewhere a few weeks ago and they were talking. They're like, you guys went over there too? Sorry guys, you know? So it happens. And they were all there helping support and grow. So those numbers on the far right side, those are for the rev share partners. If you jump in at 80-20 level, that's the amount you max out for each level of person that you bring into the company. And that, it's all going to depend on the amount of the commission on that side, because 80% or the 20% will get split up. So perfect example, there's 10,000 gross commission check, 80-20 split, $2,000 goes back to the company. That $2,000 is broken in half. 50% company keeps to grow and do well. The other 1,000 goes back to the rev share pool. Then that is split up between the 7 levels, depending on what you're building. So that one there, you know, what's that? It says 31%. You do a 10,000, someone you bring in on that model, you're getting $310 because it's 31% of that 1,000. So you get $310. Now, like I said, even $310 doesn't change someone's life, but who could use an extra $310 a month? That's what I mean, yeah. I mean, what do you want to pay for? Your electric? Maybe a car? Maybe you need 2 deals to get your car payment. I don't know what you drive.
Maybe invest back in your business.
Invest it back in your business. Like Robert said in one of the videos, he bet on himself. And guess what? Then he reinvested in himself. And he put himself. You see, it's RP. You know, he didn't come out with everyone gets twisted about, what should I call my brand? Guess what? What's your name? Let's start there. You know, RP, Robert Palmer, didn't blow the doors off with something crazy creative, guys. He reinvested himself, gave people what they want, and gave people the power and the tools to do the same exact thing he did. And he continues to add to this all the time. You got something? Or are you just excited? Feeling good? All right. Well, I like it. I like it. All right. Anybody have any questions about that part? No? All right. And I think that might be wrapping up. Last thing, this is where we are right now. Definitely, what about this state? What about that state? If you're with LPT, you've probably had that question because you have friends in other places. I think all of you have probably asked me, at least most of you have, what about this one? We're working, guys. We're working on it. So these are the states we are in right now. If you don't know who that square is, that's Colorado. People ask me sometimes, they're like, what's that one? I'm like, Colorado, guys. Colorado. But, so started in Florida. What's that? So Florida right now is the hub of everything because that's where it started, that's where it was built, that's where everything you hear is in sync. It's working like clockwork. Texas launched in December, Virginia launched December, and then North Carolina, I think we just got that launched a month ago, a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Middle of
January.
Oh yeah, Katie?
First listing.
First listing, North Carolina, right there. Whoop whoop.
Just ratified a freaking fantastic offer. So
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Hey!
Stoked.
Congrats. Yep, that is awesome. And then Donna's closing what? How many you got? 3 or 4 deals already closing this month? Yeah, she joined us too from another brokerage somewhere else, not the one I was at. Well, she was there for a short amount of time, but she wasn't doing that type of business in the other place. Not even close, right? There's a reason, guys. There's a reason. You start putting this in front of people and using it the right way, you will get more business, sell more homes. Selling more homes attracts more agents to figure out what you're doing. Then you show them what you're doing, and then you win again. You don't have to compete with everybody in this room or the other 9,000 agents in town. There's 9,000. Everybody, guess what? Everybody has a friend in real estate. Everybody. You talk to your next door neighbor, like, yeah, my cousin's in real estate. Guess what? They also might have a full-time job, So you need to keep asking more questions, not just back off as soon as they say that. Ask them to talk to you. Say, look, I just want to show you what I do. I know your cousin's probably great. Let me just show you what I do. Walk in with this box. Show them what you're doing different. It gets to be a tougher decision for them to just say, oh yeah, my cousin. Cousin hadn't sold they've been licensed for 10 years. They sold 2 houses. That's why you got to ask more questions. But yeah, show off your stuff. Let them know what you're doing. So that is the end of the presentation. So, does anybody have any questions whatsoever? You guys are. I can't say. I know. Don't do that to me right here. Trying to get me in trouble. Yes, sir.
They'll be announcing that in St. Pete.
Yeah.
Person that said he will next with that.
There you go. Good answer. Good. I was going to say good political corporate answer. Yeah, Dave's going to keep me in check here. I'm going to get myself in trouble. Did you have a question? Yes, sir.
What does LPT stand for?
Yep. Listing Power Tools. That is what is known as everything that these boxes offer in our back end and everything else. Yeah, it's been around for 7 years, so maybe longer years. Been selling out across the country to other agents. Yes.
We know yet exactly how the black badge cap money is gonna.
Yeah. So the black badge, and I'm glad you asked because it just jogged my memory on something I need to share because it's not in our independent contractor agreement. They're working through it, and I don't think I'm, stepping on any corporate toes here when I say this. But basically, the black badge, not only do you get all those shares of stock, right? You're also going to get a marketing budget. So if you're on the 80-20 plan, does anybody remember how much you cap out? What it takes to cap out? 15,000. So you saw you get 3,500 shares of stock. Use any multiplier you want on that. No one knows what that's going to be worth. That $15,000 you paid into the company, now that you hit black badge, you're going to get those shares of stock. You're still going to get all the other stuff we talked about. They're also going to set aside $15,000 in a marketing pool for you. And then for every dollar you spend on marketing for anything LPT approved, they're going to match you. So you hit black badge, you're like, I want to spend $5,000 on more marketing materials. Great, they'll give you $5,000 too. So if you want to spend $15,000 to reinvest in your business, LPT wants to be your partner, and they're going to invest $15,000 back with you. So now you've gotten your cap back.
But it doesn't have to just be LPT products.
Yeah, it has to get approved through LPT just to make sure. Right. Just make sure it's getting approved, because at the end of the day, people are like, well, I just want the money. Well, right. Short political answer, no. But
So many things you can do with that if you think about it. How many postcards can you get out for 15 grand?
yeah,
Right? Like you're trying to dominate and market a neighborhood. I'm sure there's a couple bus stops that you can put your face on. There's postcards you can send out to that neighborhood. You know, if there's an event you can have, maybe a market event, you know, to talk about the market.
What about things like radio advertising? Do you think that would qualify for that too?
what's that, the radio?
Like radio
Oh, yeah,
advertising?
I mean,
Yeah, and because of the relationships that he has with TV, radio, and billboards, it would come out so much cheaper.
yeah, and that's the thing, the cheaper part. That's, you take the power of someone like Robert and all his companies. You're not walking into WTKR news station to say, hey, I got some money, what are you going to charge me? You're saying, I'm with LPT. Or you just go to LPT and like, hey, I'd like to reinvest that money that I'm getting for Black Badge. Where's the best place to spend it? Talk to us. You know, I'm new, so I'm figuring everything out myself. David's been around a little bit longer at LPT, you know, but definitely these people, ask them. And if you're coming down to St. Pete for a conference, ask Robert. Ask his idea of what you should do with $15,000 when you hit Black Badge. And if you don't know if you're going to hit it, let's talk, because I want to help you get there. I think it'd be awesome. Yes.
I want to make sure I'm clear on this. I know we don't get revenue share for our first 120 days.
Right.
Obviously, I'm on the 80.
Right.
Excuse me. My understanding is that once my 120 days is over, though, I'm technically not getting revenue share. That revenue share is going to be applied to my cap until I cap.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
That's
all.
important for people to understand.
Which is super cool.
It is.
It is cool. I understand. But if you're coming from our previous brokerage and you hear I get revenue share, I don't want any of us to ever inadvertently lead someone astray.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like cards on the table kind of.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Tate, I love it too. But if you're used to one model,
Right.
let's make sure they know
Mhm.
they're walking in distinction.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's so crazy if you think about it. You're getting revenue share through the agency you've attracted to the company. That revenue share is going towards your cap, helping you get to your cap faster, helping you to go from 80-20 to 100% that much faster.
Right.
I love it. But
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that it's clear.
Yeah. Very clear. Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense. And that's the thing. Like, and I think I said this in the beginning. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to know, like with revenue share, I understand the idea is to have a passive income stream, more or less, right?
Right.
What happens when you retire?
Right.
Do you only get that as long as you're licensed and active?
They're set up a referral company basically where you can hang your license in retirement. You know, I don't know if that's an official thing in Florida yet, or if that's
I
being.
don't know if it's an official thing in Florida either. As the last I heard, and I can be wrong, last I heard is that you would have to maintain your license with the company. So you could retire just fine, but maintain an active license. Now, there are some caveats. There's the referral company that he mentioned, which means that you would have to remain active, but you don't have to be with any of the associations.
Right.
You wouldn't have that added cost.
Mhm.
So you would have an active license with the referral company, active in the state, you just wouldn't be able to practice because you wouldn't be with the association, right? And you could send out referrals and earn referrals. So that's why it's the referral company.
And it will have to be a separate company because the way the rules are written in Virginia,
Right.
you can't have the license at a firm that's actively doing stuff and you're not a member of the
It would be.
Right.
So it will have to be a separate company.
I would
Yep.
assume it's like nothing too crazy because it's passable to like if you pass away.
Right.
You can pass on.
It is willable.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's willable.
It's
So
willable,
I
there's
can't
not a
imagine.
retirement deal.
I would imagine it being not being too difficult for
Right.
you to retire. You can make it willable.
Yeah, and honestly, things change, especially as we grow, and these announcements are coming out fast. You know, I think we're all good not retiring for the next like year, 6 months maybe. But you know, things are evolving super fast in this situation, super fast. But yeah, as far as it being that way, you can, because I kind of know your situation a little bit with what you're thinking of probably. So at the end of the day, the other person, kind of like what David said, just hold on to your license. Just don't let it go away, because it is a split of commissions. So if you keep it active, but if you're in a referral company that is an LPT referral company, then you can still collect it, If that's the model they go with, which I believe there's been talks of that, but that will happen, and then that way you can keep getting that when you are checked out. And yes, it is willable, and that's the thing. Like this is generational, guys. This isn't like good for me today, but not good for generations. It's truly generational. And if you're at a company that's just selling houses, you're just chasing that next commission check. The rat race is never over for you. Not unless you use that commission to buy a bunch of investment properties, but let's be honest. What percentage of people do that? Very few, very few. Yes, sir.
When's the conference in St. Pete's you're talking about?
Yes, next week. Yeah, first and second. Yep. So yeah, so if it's.
There's some flights out there that we found yesterday for like 85.
I saw some. Yep. Yep. I got mine for 107 yesterday. Yeah. Yeah. What's that?
Agent Shield.
You want to talk about that? I'm not even sure, but I mean, I saw that too. Yeah. All right. Okay.
One thing that I really like too, there's what's called Agent Shield, and essentially as we start doing more marketing, and if you're listing heavy, a lot of the times you're losing out these leads to other companies and whatnot. With LPT, if they opt into your listing site or whatever it is, you get that lead for free. You don't pay LPT anything whatsoever, and the leads that they provide is also optional. So that's if you want to opt into, and you pay, I think it was 35%.
Yeah. And they're nurturing those leads, guys. They are nurturing them and giving them back to you on a silver platter. Like homevalue.com we talked about with Lawrence K. Bird, our favorite bird. That's what it is. They're nurturing those. It's just not like a lead. Hey, this lead hit the website. Good luck. They are going to nurture that lead for you. And that's 35%. But the Agent Shields thing's awesome because they're going to honor you as the listing agent to get it back. Yes?
Another question is, you said like show them the box. Well, you don't get the box till 48 hours later. Do you get a sample box?
Yes. Everyone gets a demo box for free. If you come up here, both of these are sample boxes or demo boxes. You know, you feel free to pull everything out. Just put it back as you can. Because last time I left this thing open, it got pillaged like well, I won't even say what I was going to say. Sorry, I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But feel free to come up here and take a look at it. But yes, you can order a demo box. And the great thing is if you're going to your first appointment or your first meeting with somebody, carry your demo box, open it up, show them, tell them it's just a demo. But then as you get deals, now you have other boxes. I'm working on it, trust me. I've told everybody, anybody that's heard me talk, I talk about the handle. She's the reason I've talked about this handle on the box, guys. Yeah, thanks, Sammy. Yes, sir.
So when you get a listing,
Yes.
do you order that demo box?
Yes.
Okay, you order it, pay for it, does it cost involved?
No, the Power Tools box is completely free. You're going to pay shipping, which is normally $15, $20. Yeah. Yep.
And $5 to activate the phone number.
The which one?
The text code?
Oh, if you want to do, the text code is $5 to activate that. So for $25, you're going to get absolutely everything.
It gets here in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Wednesday, it came here Friday.
Right.
I think I ordered mine on a Friday, it came here like Tuesday.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And if for any reason, like I said, if you don't have it, like a lot of people get in and like, well, I don't have a listing. I just got to wait. I wish I had a box. Order the demo or call someone that does have a listing. Like, can I market your listing, put my stuff on it? I bet you a lot of people are going to say, okay. I can't promise everybody, but call the agent that has the listing, honor them, respect them, and ask if they mind, and then you can get a box with an actual house on it. Hold on 1 second, John.
So
Yes,
I
sir.
know it has a lot of marketing materials in it, obviously.
Yes.
I got that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it designed for you to give to the homeowner for them to also give it out?
All of the above.
Yeah.
Everything,
All of
whatever
the
you want
above.
to do.
Yeah.
It's a mix of stuff. It's a mix of stuff. So for instance, they have two types of business cards, like the little TP fold over ones and then the regular back and forth ones. And the business cards have pictures of the homeowner. So rather than giving the seller your business cards and making it about you, now you're making it about them. Right? So you say, hey, here, pass these out, got pictures of your homeowner. You know?
Right, right. So you make all of that. Yes.
Also, when you show this, don't just show it, hand it to them, let them touch it, let them
Right.
feel it, let them see it.
No, and that's a great point because so many people will say, yeah, I get a box. You just show a picture. No one cares. In this day and age, between COVID, the market changing, all the forces came together, and everyone now wants to be somewhat connected again in a face-to-face environment with things they can actually hold on to. You know, being licensed 15, 20 years, you get to see the evolution of real estate where there was no technology. Then everyone started using it to grow their business. And now people are using technology to hide behind technology so they don't have to work. So guess what it's back at now? The real deal stuff that people can touch and feel and hold. So great point. Let them hold it. Give it to them. Pass it out. Let them hold on to it. Just don't let them keep your marketing guide. You know, they can keep everything else. And I'll just.
You got an example of the 9 questions to ask?
You're in my brain, man. I'm just there. All right. All right. So last thing, real quick, I'll show you guys just real quick because this is pretty important. The 9 critical questions flyer guide, whatever you want to call it. It's just a few pages at the end of the day, but it has 9, obviously, critical questions. You show them all this stuff. Go through your listing presentation. Walk through your marketing plan. They're going to be wowed, I guarantee you. And if they still haven't made their decision up yet, say, you know what, can I leave you with something? They say yes. Say, great, I have something else I'd like to leave with you. The 9 critical questions before hiring a real estate agent to sell your home. No one else has this. So what's great about it? Of course, it has 9 questions. But all 9 questions, first one says, can you please walk me through your multi-touch marketing plan so I can better understand the methods you will use to make sure I receive top dollar for my home. Imagine a seller asking an average agent that question. They're not going to know what to say. Well, I'm going to market the flyers, and I got a website, and what's that? Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, so imagine you sit there, you ever been to a listing appointment, they look at you and they go, you know, we got to interview a couple more agents, thank you for coming, we're going to interview a couple more agents, right? Everyone's gotten that before, right? So that's when you reach in your bag and you grab this, right? And you go, you know what, I think it's a great idea. I'm going to leave you with this magazine. It's 9 critical questions to ask each of those agents. Now, I've already answered all of these questions for you, but I'm going to leave this with you so that you can ask them the same questions and see if you get great responses. 50% of the time, they look at you, they look at the magazine, they look at you, they go, fuck it, let's go. The other 50% of the time, they say, hey, thank you for this, I appreciate it, right? And now they're sitting in front of, John Smith from whatever, Century 21, ABC Realty, whatever you want to call it. And John Smith's sitting there all egoed up, ready to go, kicking his style, right? And they say, hold on one second. And they grab this, because they're not going to memorize all 9 questions, right? So they grab this and they go like this.
They see that good-looking guy right there. I'm just like, it happens. It happens.
To that other agent's ego? What happens to their entire presentation? It's crashed. They're done. The next thing that comes out of their mouth is right? And you're going to earn that listing. So it's a small question.
Yeah,
Hey, can I take
that's
it
awesome.
one step further? Not on top of that, this has happened. I get a phone call. Hey, so I was at ABC Street, and you were there before me on a presentation, and I saw your magazine. Where'd you get it? Bam, there's an opportunity to talk about your brokerage, right? Like, definitely,
Yeah.
100%.
No, and it's huge. And if you didn't catch what David was saying, it literally tells you or tells them, oh, see page 5 for our answer. And then what do? They're going to turn to page 5, and guess what? It's all written out for you. That's why it's important. You leave this, and like he said, they open this up and they show another agent that shows up. They're like, wait a second, let me grab I got a question to ask you. And then we're just waiting. And your face is there, your brand is there, your phone number, and they're like, how the hell he get that or she get that? And then they might even take down that other person. If they're like the engineering type, they don't even take down the answers, and see what they said. I'm like, well, that sounded okay. And they're like, oh, let's see what Heather said. Damn, Heather sounds good. Yeah, Heather's a rock star, right? And it's the same thing for all 9 questions. And I guarantee you, if they start asking another agent, any agent, unless they're quick, which is probably 1% of agents out there, and you're probably all in this room, just saying. But it leads them back to our answer every time. So they've seen all your marketing guides, your flyers, your postcards, your website, your presentation. You really have to mess it up if you don't get that listing normally. You should definitely double your listing conversion, I would think. But you have that, they're going to give that away, let them keep it on their mantle, whatever they do with it, and it just sits there. And then like today, I opened up one of these boxes, guess what? There was a new guide in there I'd never seen before, a home buyer guide. So now we have a home buyer guide. It's amazing, guys. And now there's luxury ones coming out, new construction ones coming out. Imagine walking up to a builder and be like, hey, I just want to introduce myself and leave you with my plan for some of your new construction. You can take it deeper than that, sure, but no one else has anything like that. So that's all I have, guys. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Oh, wait, 1 second. We got one more. Hold off. There's always, yes, sir.
You know, there's these 100% brokerages.
Yes.
Okay. And there's this.
Right.
So when I ask this question, I'm not asking for LPT.
Mhm.
I don't understand how the hell some of these companies make their money.
Right. I know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So take a 100% commission model. Any of them out there. They always have a relationship with a title and a mortgage company and everybody else. So they either own or they work with, and they're like, hey, do you want to be our preferred vendor and maybe give us $5,000 a month? That's why they're like, hey, everybody go use XYZ title. Everybody go use ABC mortgage, you know?
And most aren't really 100%. They'll have
Right.
30,
Yeah, there's always fees, guys. There's always fees. Oh, before we finish, if anybody wants to walk through the studio, see the green screen, go sit at the desk that you see on the news station, we can be escorted and have a tour through it, take pictures, meet some people, and we have our guide in the back. Are you ready for us? Does anybody want to go check out the studio? All right, guys, thanks for coming out. I appreciate y'all. Yes, yes. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I won't complain.
Okay,
I got
good.
my first